Few words in modern parenting carry more confusion than these two: gentle parenting. For some, it sounds like the answer to every hard moment. For others, it sounds like a recipe for raising a child with no limits at all, a small tyrant who never hears the word no. Both pictures miss what the evidence actually says. So let's clear it up, calmly and honestly, what really works when your child pushes a boundary, and where a beautiful idea has been quietly twisted into something it was never meant to be. At its best, gentle parenting, or, more precisely, positive discipline, describes an approach where discipline means teaching, not punishing. Setting clear expectations. Using calm, reasonable consequences. Connecting with your child before correcting the behavior. And managing your own reactions instead of escalating. But here is the honest caveat that many enthusiasts skip. Gentle parenting, as a social media trend, is loosely defined and thinly researched, and some of what circulates under the label drifts, without meaning to, toward having no boundaries at all. What does have solid evidence behind it is more specific. Structured positive discipline programs have been shown to reduce harsh punishment, lower parent stress, and improve children's behavior. So the smart move is to hold tight to the well-supported principle, and stay a little skeptical of the hype. The most durable framework here is decades old. The psychologist Diana Baumrind described parenting along two simple lines: warmth and expectations. And research has pointed, again and again, to one combination as the healthiest. The authoritarian parent, low in warmth, harsh, heavy on control, tends to produce compliance built on fear, and weaker self-control underneath. The permissive parent, full of warmth, but light on boundaries, often builds a lovely bond, but a child who struggles with limits and self-control. And then there is the sweet spot the research keeps confirming: the parent who is high in warmth and high in fair, clear expectations. Warm and firm at the very same time. That combination is linked, over and over, with security, cooperation, and stronger self-control in children. And this is the crucial correction to the caricature of gentle parenting. The goal was never to remove boundaries. It is to hold them warmly, and consistently. Children actually feel safest inside firm, predictable limits. A clear limit tells a child that someone steady is in charge, and that the world is not theirs to hold up alone. What gentle parenting changes is not whether the boundary exists. It changes the tone in which you hold it. There is a reframe at the heart of all this, hidden in the word itself. The word discipline shares its root with the word disciple, and it means, simply, to teach. Seen that way, a misbehaving child is not an enemy to be defeated. They are a child who has not yet learned a skill. That single shift changes everything about how you respond. Instead of punishment, you lean on natural consequences, letting reality gently teach, where it safely can. On logical consequences, ones that are related, respectful, and reasonable. And, just as with a meltdown, on connection before correction, because a child who is overwhelmed cannot absorb a lesson anyway. Comfort first. Teaching second. Harsh punishment, by contrast, has a poor track record. It tends to buy short-term obedience at a long-term cost to the relationship, and to the child's own developing self-control. The much-debated timeout is neither villain nor magic. Used calmly, as a brief reset, a pause to let big feelings settle, it can be one useful tool among many. Used as banishment, as rejection, it loses its value. The difference, once again, is the tone. Modern parenting debates tend to force a choice: be gentle or be firm. Sikh wisdom refuses that split. It has always held both together. On one side, it prizes gentleness above almost everything. Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote that sweetness and humility are the essence of all virtues. The verse paints a vivid picture: a tall, imposing tree, heavy with bitter and useless fruit, set against the quiet, real value of sweetness and humility. In other words, substance over a show of force. And Sikh teaching warns plainly against the two things that fuel harsh, escalating discipline: anger and ego. The raised voice, the need to win, the urge to dominate a small child, these are exactly what the gurus cautioned against. And yet Sikhi is in no way permissive. It is a disciplined, committed way of living, with real boundaries, honest conduct, daily structure, and steady restraint. So the Sikh ideal is not soft or strict. It is the very same warm and firm middle that the research keeps confirming: deep compassion and real discipline, held together in the same hand. And Sikh wisdom adds a piece the parenting research is only now catching up to. The hardest discipline in the room is not the one you impose on your child. It is the one you practice on yourself. Mastering your own anger. Setting down your own ego. Lowering your own temperature before you respond. In this view, staying calm is not merely a parenting technique, it is a discipline in itself, practiced in front of the very people who learn the most from watching you. Your child is always watching how you handle the hard moment. That is the lesson that lands the deepest. So here is what it looks like in practice. The next time your child pushes a boundary, take the half-second to lower your own temperature first. Then hold the limit warmly, but without wobbling. "I won't let you do that. I'm right here." Notice that those two sentences live together, the firm no and the warm presence, in the very same breath. Firm and kind are not opposites. They are partners. The boundary keeps your child safe, the warmth keeps your child close. So keep the part that works: warm, firm discipline that teaches rather than punishes, and let go of the underdefined hype. It turns out to be the balance that Sikh wisdom has described all along: sweetness and humility on one hand, structure and steadiness on the other, and a parent quietly working on their own calm as the deepest discipline of all. Your child does not need you to be perfectly gentle or perfectly strict. They need you to be warm and steady at the same time. That is not a contradiction. It is the whole secret.